Okay, in the last class.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. So in the last class, we have gone through the reconfiguration part. Now, majority-based approach. The majority protocol for distributed concurrency control can be modified to work even if some sites are unavailable. You already know that we have discussed this majority-based protocol. Okay, I think 2-3 class back. Now the same can be used when some sites are not available. What are the points that to be noted is that each replica of this item has a version number, okay, which is updated when the replica is updated as outlined. Like a lock request is sent to at least half of the sites at which item replicas are stored. An operation continues only when a lock is obtained on a majority of the sites. Then read operations look at all the replicas locked and read the value from the replica with the largest version number. Okay, this version number plays very important role here. May write this value and version number back to replicas with lower version number. No need to obtain logs on all the replicas for this. Now, in our general case, what do you understand by the term version? You probably heard this term before.
Yes, sir.
So what is version?
सर वर्जन मतलब कोई भी जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर का वर्जन सर कौन सा अपडेटेड वर्जन है उसका सिक्योरिटी कौन सा लेवल का है वो चीज है सर.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? What do you mean by version? This question, you may surprise that this question even asked in UGC net examination also. UGC net examination में भी एक question पूछा था कि what actually version means to software engineering. ठीक है, तो जो जैसे राजेश ने बोला that is right. So anytime we are updating the files, right? So accordingly, we used to write like from version 1.2, version 1.3. Similarly, in your operating system also, you'll see that updated version with a different version number. So same approach being used here. Whenever some replica being updated, then that this version number is also updated. Okay. Then lock request, whenever the same rule that we studied in the majority based protocol, that if more than this half of the sites they obtain, the lock is obtained, then we go for that transaction. Okay, so here it is. Write operations to find the version number, like which set new version number to the old highest version plus one. Suppose last we have n version, then now the version number been changed to n plus one. Write chart and perform on all the locked replicas, and version number on this replicas is set to the new version number. Okay, for both read and write operations, we are doing the same thing. Whenever we are performing this operation, we are just updating the version numbers of the replicas. Now failures like, network site or site site, okay, cause no problem as long as the sites at commit or contain a majority of replicas of any updated data items. जिस साइट में हमने कमिट किया है उसमें अगर रेप्लिका का मेजॉरिटी पोर्शन उसी पार्टिकुलर साइट में है that updated that item, then this is not going to cause any problem. As you know, in the case of majority-based approach, we particularly look at the majority of those replicas. It may be possible that not all the replicas can be retrieved, but if we get the majority at a particular site where the commit operation is carried out, then it is also okay. We don't need to think about those sites which have undergone some failures. Now, during reach, a majority of replicas are available to find version numbers. Then, similarly, some another protocol you can use because देखो जब भी हम locking की बात करते हैं तो lock based protocol कुछ आप use कर सकते हो and you already know that we maximum time rely on which type of protocol two phase commit protocol. Okay, so 2PL हम use करेंगे तो we are not going to face any problem with respect to locking. So reach are guaranteed to see latest version of the data item. Now reintegration is trivial means this आपको सिर्फ क्या करना है जब भी अपडेट हो रहा है तभी वर्जन नंबर को चेंज करना है और जब भी रीड ऑपरेशन हम परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं whenever we are performing the read operation then we are focusing on that replica with the highest version number. Okay, then similarly, you can go for the quorum consensus algorithm. Now you are going to tell me that what does it mean? Because this algorithm also we have discussed, quorum consensus. तो quorum का क्या मीनिंग था? ये तो मेजोरिटी बेस आपको अभी आपने जो पढ़ा मेजोरिटी बेस प्रोटोकॉल के बेस पे था. इसमें मैं जो जैसा आपको बताया कि जब जितने भी साइट्स हैं उसका मेजोरिटी वाला साइट्स का हम कंसीडर करेंगे. पर जब हम कोरम बोलते हैं तो कोरम में क्या होता है? ये टर्म नोट डाउन करो मुझे बताओगे बाद में. ठीक है, अभी आई थिंक यू प्रोबेबली मिस इट नाउ but you will go through it and let me know after the class. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next is that read one, write all. Bias protocol is a special case of quorum consensus. It allows reads to read any one replica, but updates require all the replicas to be available at the commit site. ठीक है, मतलब क्या है, हम किस साइड बायस हो रहे हैं? राइट साइड पे. Okay, whenever we are performing the read operation, yeah, we can read it only from one replica, that is okay. But if we are performing some updation कब होता है? राइट कर रहे हो आप, राइट? तो you are not going to perform that write operation only at one replica. You are going to do that for all. मुझे समझ में आ रहा है ना सबको क्या बताना चाह रहा हूं मैं कि एक जब भी हम रीड ऑपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो रीड तो आप कोई भी रेप्लिका को उठा लो. रेप्लिका मीन्स व्हाट? डुप्लीकेट कॉपीज, राइट? So that is also okay. But whenever you are performing write operation, but that should be reflected at all the sites where those replicas are there. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Read one, write all available is attractive but incorrect. Why? If fail link may come back up without a disconnected site, ever being aware that it was disconnected, the site then has old value and a read from that site would return an incorrect value. If site was aware of failed reintegration could have been performed, but no way to guarantee this. With network partitioning, sites in each partition may update the same items concurrently. So although this thing is okay that yeah, we are performing the read operations only at one replica, but there exist some problems like these problems that we have just mentioned here. Okay, so in simple words, suppose we have n sites, but suppose in those n sites, n different sites, you are picking up a replica from this n minus one site. आपने n minus one site में जो replica उठा read करना था वहां से उठाया आपने. But what happened? Suppose this n minus one site से आपने replica उठाया वो updated नहीं है because of some network failure की वजह से भी हो सकता है. But you have not checked all the other sites for that, and you have the confidence that you are getting the updated item. ठीक है? तो क्या होगा? That is going to give you a wrong output or wrong result. So that's why we are mentioning here that although this read one write all looks attractive, but actually it may be sometimes incorrect. Okay, then coming to the next topic. All the topics are related to each other, like reintegration site. Reintegration, when fail site recovers, it must catch up with all the update that it missed while it was down. इसी को हम बोलते हैं reintegration. इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हो आप फिर से, ठीक है, क्योंकि आपका साइट क्या हो गया था, फेल हो गया था उस समय, और जिस दौरान ये फेल हुआ था उस पार्टिकुलर ड्यूरेशन में भी कुछ अपडेशन हुआ था, राइट? एंड दोस थिंग्स आल्सो शुड बी कैच अप ड्यूरिंग द रीइंटीग्रेशन process. Okay, now problem updates may be happening to items whose replica is stored at the site while the site is recovering. ये भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, ठीक है. Update may be happening to items whose replica is stored at that site, particular site, okay, which is recovering now. And solution will be what? Halt all the updates on the system while reintegrating a site. तो क्या होगा कि अपडेशन प्रोसेस को आप कुछ समय के लिए होल्ड कर दोगे, ठीक है. क्यों कर रहे हैं हम ऐसा? क्योंकि ये जो जितना भी उससे पहले अपडेशन हुआ था वो चीज हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हमारा जो नया साइट जो रिकवर किया है अभी उसमें कैचअप कर रहे हैं. आप कैचअप करते वक्त आपको ये सॉल्यूशन ये चीज ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि कोई अगर उसी डाटा आइटम फिर से अपडेट हो रहा है उस प्रोसेस में जिस दौरान आप ये रिकवर कर रहे हो, तो उसको होल्ड करना पड़ेगा ताकि ये रिकवरिंग प्रोसेस हो जाए, ठीक है. Then solution 2, lock all replicas of all the data items at the site, update to the latest version, then release logs. So lock all replicas and that means that particular site we are talking about. Then you need to update them to the latest version. मतलब पहले आपने क्या किया, लॉक कर लिया वो सारे डाटा आइटम्स को, आप उसके बाद उसको क्या किया, लेटेस्ट वर्जन तक अपडेट किया, उसके बाद आप लॉक को रिलीज कर दिया ताकि बाहर से जो भी अभी कोई भी प्रोसेस कोई भी ट्रांजैक्शन प्रोसेस आ रहा है देन दैट कैन बी कैरीड आउट विद द अपडेटेड वर्जन, राइट. सो दैट इज अबाउट राइट द रीइंटीग्रेशन प्रोसेस. आप लोगों ने रीइंटीग्रेशन प्रोसेस क्या देख लिया. रीइंटीग्रेशन मतलब जब भी कोई एक साइट रिकवर कर रहे हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं, वो जिस दौरान फेल हुआ था उस दौरान जो भी अपडेशन हुआ था उस सारे अपडेशन को उस पार्टिकुलर साइट में अपडेट करते हैं, ठीक है. बट उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया था, लाइक अपडेशन प्रोसेस में डाटा आइटम सपोज कुछ अपडेट हो रहा है तो वो अपडेट को हमने होल्ड किया और उसके बाद रीइंटीग्रेशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट किया. या तो आप और एक चीज कर सकते हो, तो पूरे सारे रेप्लिका को लॉक करके उसको क्या किया, लेटेस्ट वर्जन में अपडेट किया और उसके बाद लॉक रिलीज कर दिया. तो दैट इज अबाउट आवर साइट reintegration process. Now, comparison with remote backup. Now, before that, I want to know from you that what does it mean by this term, remote, to you? Remote, like
सर
remote access. हाँ, बोलिए.
सर रिमोट मतलब सर आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा था ना सर.
हाँ हाँ
सर
बिल्कुल.
मतलब सुनाई नहीं दिया अभी.
अच्छा, my voice is coming or not?
सर नहीं मतलब मेरा साइड से कुछ नेटवर्क का प्रॉब्लम होगा शायद से मतलब डिस्कनेक्ट जैसा हो गया था.
ओके
कनेक्टिंग हो गया था इसलिए.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. अभी आ रहा है ना
तो आप
आवाज?
कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछे थे क्या? हाँ हाँ
हाँ
सर
मैं
आ रहे हैं.
हाँ मैं ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ. ये रिमोट वर्ड है, जैसे आप लोगों ने सुना होगा रिमोट एक्सेस,
हाँ सर.
रिमोट प्रोटोकॉल. तो
सर रिमोट मतलब सर जैसे सिस्टम कहीं और जगह है, हम लोग एक्सेस कर रहे हैं कहीं और जगह से, जैसे रिमोट डेस्कटॉप बोलते हैं सर.
हाँ हाँ
अभी तो मतलब वो तो रिमोट डेस्कटॉप तो सबको पता ही होता है सर. मतलब सिस्टम कहीं और है और हम लोग एक्सेस कर रहे हैं कहीं और से, रिमोटली एक्सेस.
एग्जैक्ट.
कंट्रोल डिवाइस.
कंट्रोल डिवाइस. ओके. इसमें क्या प्रोटोकॉल हम यूज करते हैं? व्हाट particular protocol that we use in the case of this remote access? Can you tell me? Some protocol we have to use for this, right? Okay, no problem. You go through it. Okay, let me know about those protocols. Remote access protocol. Okay. So remote backup systems are simpler and have lower overhead. All actions performed at single site and only log records in receipt. No need for distributed concurrency control or two-phase commit. क्योंकि हम जब बैकअप रखे हैं तो उस बैकअप कोई एक पार्टिकुलर साइट में रखा है, ठीक है. अब दैट इज बैकअप, that is not is frequently been accessed by some other systems. So we don't need to go for some concurrency protocol like two-phase commit protocol in the case of remote, if remote backup systems are available. Using the distributed databases with replicas of data items can provide higher availability by having multiple, that is greater than 2 replicas, and using the majority protocol. Now, also avoids failure detection and over time associated with remote backup system. तो remote backup systems का कुछ कुछ advantages यही है कि आपने backup remotely देखो, remote and online, we have means the big difference between these two words whenever we are studying in the case of studying with respect to distributed database system or distributed computing environment. Why? One is just keeping it, we are keeping it idle or we are keeping it static, but one is dynamic. Now, can you tell me which one is static and which one is dynamic in this case? क्वेश्चन समझ में आया ना मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? हेलो, माय वॉइस इज
सर एक
ऑडिबल?
बार रिपीट कर दीजिए ये सर. हेलो सर रिपीट कर दीजिए एक बार सर.
ठीक है, आई थिंक कुछ नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हो रहा होगा, सुनाई दे रहा है, नहीं दे रहा है आप लोगों को. ठीक है, तो मैंने ये बताया आप लोगों को कि दो वर्ड रिमोट, one is remote and another is online with respect to distributed computing environment, sorry. So there exists differences between them. One, I have said that we are keeping it idle, that is static in nature, and another is dynamic in nature. Which one is static, which one is dynamic, and what is the reason behind it?
सर
सर
रिमोट
ऑनलाइन तो मेरे ख्याल से डायनेमिक होगा सर, फ्रॉम माय पॉइंट ऑफ
सर
व्यू.
रिमोट
क्योंकि
डायनेमिक.
ऑनलाइन
एक
में
एक एक सीजन करके बोलो. पहले राजेश को, हाँ ठीक है, राजेश बोल लो, उसके बाद हिमांशु बोलेंगे, उसके बाद और बाकी लोग बोलेंगे. हाँ बोलो.
ये सर सर ऑनलाइन में कोई भी जैसे चीज हम लोग सर्च करते हैं तो उसका सर्वर तो मतलब चेंज होते रहता है ना सर. तो इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से ऑनलाइन जो होगा वो डायनामिक होगा और रिमोट जो होगा वो स्टैटिक होगा.
Okay, I have noted your
My
answer.
point of view.
Okay, good. Next, Himanshu.
Sir, I think remote dynamic.
Why you are thinking like that? We should have some reason for that, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the reason behind that? बाकी लोगों को भी मैं सेम क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ, ठीक है? ठीक है, क्वेश्चन आपको सिंपल लग सकता है, बट आई वांट द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट. ठीक है. Again, I am keeping this question for you after the class. Whenever you get the recorded link, you will answer it. Okay, but up to then, you think about this. ठीक है से? सभी लोग सोचोगे पहले, आंसर देने से पहले सोचोगे, उसके बाद अपना विजन पुट फॉरवर्ड करोगे. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now coming to the next point of discussion, last topic for today, that users got it that how much importance this coordinator plays in the case of distributed computing environment. तो चीज कर रहा है सारे चीज कम्युनिकेशन वगैरह सारे चीज कौन कर रहा है अभी आपका coordinator, right? Now, what about that coordinator selection? Backup coordinator sites which maintains enough information locally to assume the role of coordinator if the actual coordinator fails. First point. Okay. हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं? We are talking about that how to select that particular coordinator. Okay. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट ये है कि जब वो साइट्स कोऑर्डिनेटर आप समझ रहे हो ना, इतने सारे साइट्स हैं हमें हमारे पास, we do have n different sites and we need to select one as a coordinator out of n. Now, we have to give importance to that site. और coordinator हमें select कब करना पड़ रहा है? Whenever our current coordinator fails, suppose. Okay. What about the next? Who will be the next coordinator? So the site which contains or which maintains enough information local to assume the role of coordinator. तो जिसमें maximum information होगा उस site को हम by default coordinator जैसे select करेंगे. ठीक है? Then next, executes the same algorithms and maintain the same internal state information as the actual coordinator fails, executes state information like actual coordinator. Okay, सारे algorithm जो actual coordinator maintain किया था, execute किया था, the same this site will do for you. Okay. Then allows fast recovery from coordinator failure, but involves overhead during normal processing. If fast recovery is possible, then it also may include overhead. Right? Then election algorithm. So there exists one important algorithm for this coordinator selection, and that algorithm is known as Woolley algorithm. Yeah? Bullly, Woolley algorithm. And what about this Woolley algorithm, I'll discuss in the next class. Okay, till then, and whenever you get this lecture, you will answer all the questions that I have asked. And once again, I'm suggesting you that don't just answer it and without thinking about the logic. First, find out the logic and then answer. Okay. So that's all for today.
Yes, sir.